What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH. Listen, that Ryan and Esme scene was creepy as fuck. It was so cringy. Um, so apparently these two have been working together for quite some time. Like all of this was Ryan's plan from the beginning for Esme to hook up with Spencer to get closer to Ava. And she's walking around trying to act like she's pretending to fall for Spencer. I don't believe it. From what I'm seeing, she's really falling for Spencer. Because if her goal was that, oh, I gotta act like I'm really into him or whatever, yeah, but she's taking it way too far, the way she's acting. You know what I mean? And Ryan was not amused. Like, he is pissed that she's failed because she's so focused on Spencer and his friends that she failed the end goal. The whole end game is to break up Nicholas and Ava, and she failed at it. So their whole scene was just ugh, it made me itch. Like she's sitting there talking about, oh, daddy, you like it when I call you that. I said, wait, what? I didn't take it as in daddy, as in that's her daddy, like she came from his scrotum. I didn't take it as that the way she said it. I took it as some creepy sexual tension, maybe kind of daddy kind of thing. You know what I mean? I just got a whole creep vibe from them. So Ryan pretty much is gonna give her another chance to redeem herself. He wants a new plan now. And it was so funny how she threatened him. She was like, "Oh, I'll go to Kevin and tell him how you were able to talk for months and you're coherent and all this stuff." He grabbed her. Esme trying to act a little bold nowadays. She forgot who she dealing with. And Ryan reminded her. He was like, "Oh, I see you got a little backbone now." He said, "You better remember who I am." Like, for real. She trying to act all about it like she about that life. I'm like, girl, you better remember who you talking to. He will snap your little ass in two and not think and not hesitate to do it. He won't blink. You better calm that down. All that, threatening now. Better calm yourself. Um, so he came up with a new idea. He wants her to get in good with Ava. He wants her to start from scratch with Ava. Get in good with her. You know what I'm saying? Get the family to like her. And she feels like that's impossible now because they don't trust her, they don't like her. But he said, listen, all you gotta do is do what I'm telling you to do, and they will like you. The end goal here is for her to seduce Nicholas. That's what Ryan wants. But Esme kept trying to warn him, like, listen, your plan is not gonna work. Because he feels like if she could seduce Nicholas, then that would mean Ava would leave him and Spencer wouldn't want nothing to do with him. So that way Ryan could continue his little sick game with Ava. I'm like, listen, I love when Ryan comes on because he's just creepy as all get out. But Ava know what she gonna have to do. In order to really get rid of Ryan, you got to kill him. I mean, like, kill him. Like, decapitate him. Halloween H2O with an axe. Just bing, yang, 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 yang. Just knock that shit right off his shoulders. That's the only way you're gonna get rid of him. Like, let's be real. Um, it's the only way. And then Ryan, he stood up and started brushing her hair and stuff from her face, calling her his beautiful, gifted daughter. I don't believe that's his daughter. I'm starting to not, because the way that they're interacting and talking with each other, it don't give daddy daughter vibe. It gives creepy cult vibe. That's what it's giving. It's giving like some One Life to Live, Mitch Lawrence type shit. It's like I really get that vibe from them, like a Mitch Lawrence, Allison Perkins, Messiah kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't get the daddy daughter vibe. And I wonder if there's more to it for Esme when it comes to Ava, because the way she snapped and she was like, "Oh, Ava's not a part of the family." The way she said that so stern, you know what I'm saying? It gave me pause because I'm like, what is her beef with Ava though? Because she sounded like there's some real animosity there, and I'm just like, the two of them together. I'm not even shocked that they have a connection. I'm really not. All hell is about to break loose, so Nicholas and Ava better buckle up. They better do it. They better get themselves right because all hell is breaking loose. Um. So anyway, Ava and Nicholas are trying to make sure that they keep their cool when it comes to Victor, because they don't trust him. They're just trying to do the old keep my enemies, my friends close, but my enemies closer or whatever. And however that saying go. But that's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to keep Victor as close as possible to see what he's up to, find out what he up to, see if he slip up or whatever. Because Victor was still trying to get them to loosen the reins a little bit and allow family to be at the wedding. Nicholas wasn't for it at first. Nicholas was wondering why Ava was doing it, but Ava had to come clean to him and was like, listen, I need to keep tabs on him for your mama or whatever, because she don't trust his ass. We need to keep tabs. We need to keep him close. Find out what he up to. At this point, Nicholas already has his guard up where Esme is concerned. He don't trust that girl. He don't like her. So that's my whole thing. The only way for Esme and Ryan's plan to work is if she actually drugs him or something like that, or tries to get him in a compromising position that Ava will believe. That's the only way. Spencer, I could see believing it because he's naive. Like, he's very shallow and naive. I could see him believing his father would do it. Ava, I don't know. And Ava's sure that she can handle Victor, because she feels like, listen, I done handled way worse than Victor Cassadine in my life. Well, we're about to put that theory to the test, because Victor's a slippery devil. So hopefully they can overcome this and fight these odds that are against them, because they have an enemy out there that they don't even know is a threat. They know Ryan is out there, but they think he's an invalid at this point, that he can't touch them. Little do they know. So they got to keep, eyes in the back of their heads as well. If not, I'm telling you, at that vow renewal, all hell is going to break loose. I don't see nothing good coming out of that. Absolutely not. So anyway, moving on from that. Normally, I would be telling Gladys to mind her business when it come to her grown son. But I had to agree with some of what she was saying about the potential of, the possibility of Sasha and Brando getting married right now, because she knows that it had to be Sasha's idea. And she knows that it's the grief talking. Sasha's not ready to do this, because even Gladys could see it's grief. Why all of a sudden now are y'all talking about marriage? Even Gladys was putting it together. She was like, no, something ain't right. She said this, she feels like it'd be a big mistake if they were to get married out of grief. I had to agree with Gladys on that. I think it's bad for them to get married, especially with Sasha being under the influence and stuff and not thinking straight. It's not a good look. So I do agree with her. My thing is, it was so funny how Gladys was trying to say, oh, money isn't everything. I'm like, who kidnapped you and put an alien inside your brain? Since when is money not not everything to Gladys? That's all Gladys thought about last year was money. When Sonny was presumed dead, that's all she could think about was, oh, Brando, step up, be a part of the business, make that money. Or that's all she thought about. Now all of a sudden money ain't important? Yeah, okay. But yeah, I got where she was coming from up until she started making that whole thing about her. Talking about, oh, how could my son do this? Get married without me even being there. I'm like, Gladys, it ain't about you. I was with her up until she said that foolishness. I'm like, ma'am, your son is grown. I get where she coming from. Like, you want to be at your son's wedding, but even if they go through with this wedding and they get married, they could always throw a reception. And I agree with Lucy. They're grown. You know what I'm saying? As much as I, too, don't agree with them getting married under these circumstances, they're grown at the end of the day, and Gladys needs to stay out of that. I think it's a huge mistake for her to try to intervene, and stop the wedding. I do agree with Lucy on that. Like, don't do it. Let them do what they do. And if they later decide, like, hey, maybe we rush this thing and whatever, then it's up to them to decide what they want to do. If they want to keep the marriage or annul it, it's up to them. They have to make that choice, not Gladys. Even Lucy is worried about Sasha. She's worried that Sasha's not ready to go back to work. She could see something is wrong with her. It was super funny though when Gladys got in touch with Sasha and she was trying to rush her off that phone. She was like, "Oh yeah, we're in the falls, bad connections." She know damn well she didn't want to talk to no Gladys, and Gladys knew it. She was like, "Yeah, she couldn't wait to get me off that phone." Gladys need to understand something. Listen, if I was in that situation, I couldn't wait to get her off the phone. Like, I wouldn't want to talk to her. But yeah, Sasha need to stop this old marriage foolishness. So now they lost cell service. The car broke down. They got to wait for a tow that could take up, a few hours. She was seeing it all as, um, like what they call it, a bad omen. Like it was a sign that they shouldn't be getting married. I'm like, yeah, you should not be getting married. And she kept thinking that Brando was getting cold feet or whatever. Brando was like, no, I'm ready to do this. Y'all are crazy as hell. He even got them wedding rings and stuff. I said, no, don't do this. Don't do this. Not under these circumstances. So they finally got a tow truck to come get them or whatever. I'm like, ugh, please don't do this. I don't want Gladys to stop it, but if it happens, let it just happen. You know what I mean? Let them figure it out. But it's gonna be a hot ass mess. I know that much. So anyway, I guess Dante and Drew and all them done found out that Britt got Peter's belongings or whatever. Britt was about to throw that shit. She was about to throw it right over that balcony. She said, listen, I'm about to toss this. She said, I don't want none of it. I don't blame her because I probably would have did the same shit. Like, why would I want it? But Maxie was trying to get her to hold off because it could have some financial stuff for Bailey. I'm like, but wouldn't he have written all that down in documents and gave it to a lawyer if it was like financial stuff? That's what I would think. I wouldn't think that he would ship it all to a box and give it to her. Like, wouldn't he trust a lawyer with that stuff? Like paperwork and bank accounts and all that stuff. Like, I would assume that you would give that to a lawyer. But his personal effects, like stuff that was on him when he allegedly died, would have been given to them. Not the paperwork stuff though. But yeah, Maxie was trying to stop her from tossing it or whatever, but Britt didn't want nothing to do with it. Britt was like, listen, I don't want nothing to do with this stuff. But Maxie wanted the chance to look or whatever to dispose it. Thank God, Sam and Dante and them got to her in time before she did throw it because they need that tarot card. And Drew was on the money. He got there just in time to stop Victor from going out there. To give them some time to find the card or whatever before he got out there. Victor does not know that he's totally being played right now. And when he came out there and Dante asked him about the belongings, Drew's belongings, he denied knowing anything about it or whatever. So when the box fell over, of course they made it fall over on purpose, the tarot card fell out. And Victor tried to discreetly pick it up and palm it in his hand and stuff like that. He was so souped he got that card. He was so happy. And I love how they played him. But I definitely feel like their plan is gonna, fail at some point. I feel like something's gonna get messed up in the plan because it always does. Something always just fucks up. You know what I mean? They got him right now though. Right now they got him on the ropes, but we'll see how long that lasts. I feel like some storylines right now things are heating up. Things are getting a lot more interesting with certain aspects of these stories. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with this Ryan, Esme, Ava craziness. Like, will she succeed or will she won't? Or won't she? I can't wait for all this. This is getting quite interesting. Hit the comment section, let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.